What if you're not lazy at all, and the real reason you procrastinate is something completely different than you think? Most people blame themselves for procrastination, but psychology suggests that the problem often goes much deeper. You sit down with the intention of starting, yet somehow the first step feels strangely difficult. The task is right in front of you, but your mind keeps finding reasons to postpone it. So instead of starting, you pick up your phone and tell yourself you'll work later. For a few moments, the pressure disappears and your brain feels relieved from the responsibility. But when you finally look back at the clock, much more time has passed than expected. The work is still unfinished, and now you're carrying both stress and frustration at once. You know the task matters, yet something keeps pulling your attention somewhere else every time. You promise yourself you'll start in 5 minutes, but somehow those minutes keep moving further away. The larger the project feels in your mind, the harder it becomes to take action. Your brain begins seeing the task as something threatening instead of something that could help you grow. And every time you think about starting, your body responds with resistance and discomfort. You make tea, clean your room, organize your desk, and suddenly everything feels more important. It looks productive from the outside, but deep down, you know you're avoiding the real task. This is why procrastination feels so confusing, because your intentions and actions are moving apart. You genuinely want progress, yet your mind keeps leading you toward temporary comfort instead. And very often, that comfort is protecting a hidden fear you haven't noticed yet. Fear of failing, fear of being judged, or fear of discovering you're not as capable. The more important something becomes, the more your brain tries to avoid the possibility of failure. So your mind starts imagining every mistake that could happen before you've even begun. It creates scenarios where things go wrong, even though none of them exist yet. Your brain believes it's helping you prepare, but it's actually making the task feel bigger. And eventually, doing nothing starts feeling safer than taking the risk of trying. For a moment, avoidance protects you from discomfort, disappointment, and the fear of uncertainty. But every time you avoid the task, it grows larger inside your imagination. The pressure builds quietly in the background, even while you're distracted by something else. And every distraction provides relief, but only for a short period of time. Once the distraction ends, the unfinished task returns with even more emotional weight than before. This is the moment many people start calling themselves lazy, even though that's not true. Because laziness isn't usually the problem when you care deeply about what needs to be done. The real problem is that your brain is trying to avoid emotional discomfort and uncertainty. So instead of focusing on the entire challenge, focus only on the next small action. One sentence, one email, 1 minute of work can completely change your momentum. Motivation rarely comes before action. Most of the time, action creates the motivation. You don't need confidence before starting, because confidence grows while you're already moving. The first step is often the hardest, but it's also the most important one. The mountain becomes smaller, your fear becomes quieter, and progress finally starts appearing. Success isn't built by perfect days, it's built by showing up even when you don't feel ready. And once you begin, your brain slowly realizes the task wasn't as dangerous as expected. Maybe procrastination was never about laziness at all. Maybe it was fear wearing a different mask. But what happens when your brain becomes addicted to constant stimulation and distraction? That's what we'll explore in the next video. If you want to understand your mind better, stay with me.